So, I went to the Fort Vancouver Library Mall, Van Mall location. And, I've always felt uncomfortable there. I've just always felt uncomfortable there. Well, I was there, and I had to make copies for some dumb thing for social services, and I knew I was going to be spending about $10-$20 there making copies. And I had $5 in cash, so I was going to use that before I used my debit card. So I was making copies. I spent all my $5 making copies. This copy. Not just sliding it in and just letting it run and making copies. This was actual. I had to make photocopies of receipts. So I was in there a good 20 minutes before I spent the whole $5. But this is what I mean. I can't just slide these through a feeder because they're receipts. You know, they have to one at a time on the scan tray. So I was in there a good 20 minutes. And after that, I go to put my, my head looks so small. I look so big at the angle that the camera's at. So you come up here, I look normal. Anyway, so yeah, I did a pretty hit. So I put my debit card in there, and I'm reading how to do it. And a young woman, probably early 20s, late teens, maybe even a middle teenager. I don't know. I don't try to guess age. It doesn't matter to me. Anyway, she says, you look, or may I help you? You look confused. Excuse me? I don't understand. And she goes, well, it seems to me like you might need some help. And I go, I don't need any help. I'm doing just fine. And she goes, well, you look confused. I said, well, now I'm confused. And she goes, well, let me help you. And I go, okay, please tell me why you think I looked confused when I'm reading how to work something. I would much rather read it for myself before I go ask somebody for help. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I said, I'm doing just fine. And so I go to put my debit card in there and work it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to mess with this. So I call my daughter and ask her to come down with cash. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk to any more people. So she comes in, she has money, and I'm getting ready to get done with what I do. And I finished making my photocopies. And then I thought, okay, I need to get on the computer. I'll get on the 15-minute express one. And I will print up the stuff I have to print up, and then I can go. Well, I go to sit at the computer to do that, and as I go to sit, I put my hand down to grab the mouse, and she goes, wait, I need to log you out of that, and I pretty much shoves me out of the seat. Rather than going, hey, you need to log out of that session, blah, 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 which I knew I needed to do. I was going to log the other person out. And so I don't understand the people at that library. Not only did she lean over me, but her boob was on my cheek, which is really inappropriate. And then a woman across from us, a patron at the library, says that I was being the one who was disruptive. See, this is where the groupthink comes from. People that speak up for themselves. Just because I'm standing at a machine doesn't mean I don't know how to use it. I don't need your help. If I need help, I will ask for help. But anyway, so because I was saying, leave me alone, stay out of my space, this patron is saying that I started shit because I'm being disruptive. This is why people don't say anything. This is why people just feel so heavy all the time. This is why they're so sick all the time, because it's just this little stuff. Everybody telling you how you feel, how you look. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. As soon as I got the right fucking ink for my printer, I am done. I don't need to go deal with those people. I need to be totally self-reliant so I don't have to talk to any of these idiots. But then to make it my fault and for me and my daughter to have to leave because we're a disruption, because they won't listen about my boundaries. I don't understand. I was spending $10 to $20 in there, and they're telling me to leave. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand. They're supposed to be this public service, and they're not. If you don't conform to what they want you to do, then you can leave. And I didn't do anything. I was standing there making photocopies and going to use the computer. And they came into my space. It made me very uncomfortable. And then to have a patron stand up like I was in the wrong, and then that whole group dynamic where I'm the one being picked on when all I was doing was making photocopies. And I was attacked, verbally, but still attacked, and told to leave. And not only were myself and my daughter told to leave, the other woman was told to leave, and then another librarian, another lady, not librarian, they don't have the education, another lady comes up around her and says, no, you don't really have to leave. Just get up and look like you're leaving. When they're gone, you can come back on the computer. What is that about? How childish is that? What are we, in the 3rd grade? I am done. I'm not even going back to the Vancouver Mall. I'm so done. The way I have peace, love, and joy, just don't go where I don't have peace, love, and joy. So goodbye, Van Mall. I should really say, it should have really been never say hello to Van Mall. And when Vancouver Shopping Town left, we should have said, forget it, we're done. But goodbye, Van Mall. It's because of the people at the library. Good day. Peace, love, joy. That's how I have it. Cut off the dead branches and any rotten fruit. Hey, it's Tracey G. So the 3rd time I've come to my car and I've gotten one of these. It is a warning saying that if I have a car I'm a resident of the state of Washington, my car has to be licensed in Washington. However, my business license is in Oregon, and because my business license is in Oregon, I lease my car in Oregon. So that being said, they should have run the plates before they leave a warning on my car. When I called the Vancouver Police Department, I said, it is harassment. This is the 3rd time I've found one on my car. And she said, no, it's a courtesy. And I said, no, 3 times. If it was somebody else coming and leaving something on my car or in the door, it'd be solicitation and harassment. You guys are not above the law. Anyhow, I want the behavior to stop. They need to run the plates because they'll find out who I leased the car from that way. I mean, it's 30 seconds to run plates. I should know this. I'm related to police officers and other such folks. And what they are doing is harassment, not solicitation, but harassment. Oh, and by the way, if you click on this, hold on, if you click on this, they get their ads on the page. They get money. So don't do it unless you're actually reporting fraud. Anyway, this is Tracey G. Peace, love, joy. And I'm all for police reform, prison reform, and quit harassing people that work for a living. Go harass the people that are out there hounding for money and not working. Okay, go harass the people that are sitting on their butts getting welfare who are just popping out babies. Quit harassing working people. Peace, love, joy. F the police. Okay, so I went to a convenience store and a car wash, and I paid for my car wash. I'm going to pay for my car wash, and I bought a couple sodas, You gotta have to treat yourself, right? So I go in, and usually there's like a cluster bunch of people, but everybody kind of knows who got there first and whatever, and there's 2 cashiers, and then, we split off into 2 lines. Well, I'm there, and then a little while later, a white man comes up and kind of bullies his way in front of me, like there's 2 lines or something, and he just like keeps moving forward as that line goes, and I'm like, as it got to one person in front of him, I said, excuse me, I think I'm ahead of you. And he goes, there's always 2 lines, and he got really mad, his face turned red. I said it once, I said, excuse me, I was really nice, there's always 2 lines. And I was like, whoa, dude, you don't need to get so pissed. And I go, but I am tired of being bullied, and I was next in line. He goes, there's always 2 lines, there's always 2 lines. And so when it cleared up, I said, dude, you go ahead and go since it's so important for you to be first. And I said, I don't know what it's like in your family, but in my fucking family, guess what? In my family, women are equal, and we take turns, and we don't bully our way in front, and we don't go, oh, I'm the man, I get to go, and because I'm loud, I get to go. And so I told him, you know, that is not the way to treat people, but you can be first and you have to be first. And so the cashier, the lady, I said, I don't like being bullied. I don't like being bullied by white men. I really don't like being bullied at all, period, but especially by white men. And she put her hand on me and she says, I know how you feel. I'm very sorry. And I said, yeah, I know. You deal with it all day, every day. And I gave her $1 for being caring because she reached out to me and didn't just ignore it. And like the people behind me said I was rude because I said something. Why am I the bitch because I'm the one following the rules? Why? Right? Anyhow, love y'all. Peace, love, joy. So this is the 4th or 5th one of these that I've gotten on my car to remind me, or as a courtesy to tell me that I must live in, if I live in Washington, I must have my license plate registered in Washington. Again, I lease cars for work. I have to have the license plate from the place I lease the car from. So the Washington State Patrol, Vancouver Police, or my apartment security people need to stop leaving this on my car, as it is harassment. All they have to do is run my plates and they'll see where the car belongs, who I rent it from or who I lease it from. Or it'll go back to the company that I work under. Anyway, doesn't take a whole lot of police work to do that. What does that say about Clark County? This is Tracey G. Peace, love, and fuck the police. So, I went into... Hi everybody, it's me. I went into the Wendy's near the Portland airport, and as I'm standing in line, the guy is telling one of his workers, the manager there is telling one of his workers that she's not really hungry for food, that her biological clock is fertile, so it's telling her that she's hungry. And all of a sudden, I no longer want to eat. This is the manager telling his subordinate this. A white manager with red hair telling his brown-skinned female employee that a woman is not hungry during her fertile period, that she just wants to do it. Those were his words. And it's this Wendy's right here. This one. And they're hiring. If you want to work there with this manager, they are hiring. See, it says right there that they are hiring. Yeah, so that's fun. Wendy's at the PDX. Over at the little Target shopping center area by the Ed Baby building with Home Mortgage. So, yeah. I'm no longer going to patron this store. Thank you. I am so freaking angry right now. In Washington State, landlords have to give you 48 hours notice to enter. The reason they have to give you 48 hours notice is so that you have the opportunity to call and reschedule. They can't just say, we're coming in 48 hours, make this allotted time. You have to be able to call and say, hey, you have to make a time to do this. That's the reason we have that law. However, my apartment complex, the Park Lane Apartments in Vancouver, Washington, have entered my place illegally now. This is the 4th time. They were scheduled today to be here between 9 and 5, and somebody was at my house all day long to be here. And at 5:29 p.m., they opened my door to come in. My daughter says, you're entering illegally. And he goes, well, do you want me to go ahead and do it? She said, no, you were supposed to be here before 5. That's the law. And so I'm very angry. I had to get special accommodations just so that they would let me know and set an appointment with me, because they don't follow the law. I even have the reasonable accommodations approval letter, even though everything I asked for is the law, and it has nothing to do with my reasonable accommodations request. So I'm very angry. Also, they do this when you can't get a hold of the office. So they're closed tomorrow, which is Friday, and the offices are closed on Saturday and Sunday. So guess what? I don't get to talk to anybody until Monday. So I am going to take the appropriate actions to do something legally about this because I've lived in this place for 3 years. I haven't had the finances to move out. And every time I call the police, they tell me there isn't a crime. It's between you and the landlord, even though the RCWs say it's clearly a crime. And I'm angry. And I want to see something happen. And I'm going to go file a civil suit if I need to because nobody's paying attention. I was told by the landlords this wouldn't happen. I was told by management it wouldn't happen. And it's happening. And it needs to stop happening. I have to be able to leave my home. They have a key to my house. They have a key. This is distressing. People shouldn't have to live this way. I wish for you peace, love, and joy. And I'll try to find some. In my home. I have more privacy in my car. Love. So I'm rather distraught. Got a notice from the Park Lane Apartments that they were going to come in within 48 hours, which, you know, is normally legit. But the reason in Washington State they're supposed to give you 48 hours is so that you have a reasonable time to call and reschedule if you have to. That's why. It's not so that they can just give you the notice and come in. However, this is what this is. So I got this notice, and then we waited. And when I was working, so my daughter was here all day, and when she couldn't be here, like when she was across the way doing laundry, her fiance was here at the apartment. We waited all day, the allotted 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., a work day, okay, to have them come. Nothing. 5:29 rolls around, they just come right in. And my daughter says, no, you cannot be in here. No, you cannot be in here. It's after time. No, you cannot be in here. And he goes, well, do you just want me to get it done? And she goes, no, you cannot be in here. That is illegal. It's illegal entry. He did not have permission after the latest time. And I sent another letter to Park Lane. This is the 6th infraction of this kind. And so I sent, it says to the person who's in charge right now, the Washington State Landlord-Tenant Act requires that landlords give tenants 48 hours notice before entering the property or 24 hours notice if they are showing the property to a prospective new tenant or buyer, except in the case of an emergency. Emergencies are deemed by the fire marshal as imminent danger or over $10,000 in property damage, such as fire or flood. Or, of course, domestic violence, gunshots, those kind of things. The written notice must specify exact dates and time for entry or specify a time period listing the earliest and latest possible times for entry on designated dates. The notice must contain a telephone number for me to reach you in order to object or reschedule the entry. The law also states that landlords may not abuse their right of access or use it to harass tenants, and that they may only enter at reasonable times. I was given proper notice of landlord entry on the following day and time period, March 28, 2019, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. That said, the maintenance representative of the Park Lane Apartments entered my unit at 5:29 p.m. This is illegal behavior as well as a violation of my reasonable accommodations that I had to have put into place because your maintenance men continue to abuse their possession of the keys to all residential units. If you read my reasonable accommodations, you will find that any and all things that I have asked for simply enforces the law for any tenant without disabilities because you are in direct violation of said laws. That said, I forgot to include in my letter, if any of my possessions end up missing, guess who I'm going for? I have missed a day of work now because driving is not the best idea. I'm trying to get an emergency care appointment with my counselor because I am distraught. Anyhow, the letter goes on to say, the law states that since you have continued to violate my privacy rights following receipt of the original notice back in May of 2015, all notices should be in my file and I have all copies. You shall be liable for up to $100 for each offense. I have the right to pursue legal remedy in small claims court. I am no longer asking. Please do not enter my unit in the future without providing proper notice and allowing me time to respond. Attaching 48-hour notices to the door on Friday at 5 p.m. when the office closes, dated for the following Monday at opening when there is no way to contact anyone from Park Lane or a reliant representative is illegal. You and or your representative must be available to reschedule unless you're showing the property to potential buyers or investors. Please follow the letter of the law and stop violating my rights to enjoy my home and feel safe therein. RCW 59.18.15 Section 6. The landlord shall not abuse the right of access or use it to harass the tenant, and shall provide notice before entry as provided in this subsection, except in the case of emergency, or if it is impracticable to do so. The landlord shall give the tenant at least 2 days written notice of his or her intent to enter, and shall enter only at reasonable times. The notice must state the exact time and date or dates therein. Shall enter only at specify. Okay. The notice must state the exact time and date or dates of entry, or specify a period of time during that date or dates in which the entry will occur, in which case the notice must specify the earliest and latest possible times of entry. The notice must also specify the telephone number to which the tenant may communicate any objection or request to reschedule the entry. I called the after hours call line for emergency repairs, and they are not available for this kind of rescheduling. And yet that's the only number that's available generally from Friday 5 p.m. to Monday 9 a.m. That is illegal. There has to be somebody available in case of an emergency or in case of illegal activity. There has to be a representative. The tenant shall not unreasonably withhold consent to the landlord to enter the dwelling unit at a specified time where the landlord has given at least 1 day's notice of tenant to enter, to exhibit the dwelling unit to prospective or actual purchasers or tenants. Remember, that's only if people are purchasing or prospective tenants or even stockholders, shareholders, those kind of things, potential buyers. A landlord shall not unreasonably interfere with a tenant's enjoyment of the rented dwelling unit by excessively exhibiting the dwelling unit. Section 7. The landlord has no other right of access except by court order, arbitrator, or by consent of the tenant. They have never had consent by me to enter with any verbal or nonverbal communication. I have always specified you need to have it in writing. It needs to be verified by me either through email or through snail mail. That seldom, if ever, happens because we're supposed to call their line and then they send somebody, and that they say is a verbal entry. And I said, you can't do that in the state of Washington. You have to have it in writing. Anyway, a landlord or tenant, this is section 8. A landlord or tenant who continues to violate the rights of the tenant or landlord with respect to the duties imposed on the other as set forth in this section after being served with one written notification alleging in good faith violations of this section, listing the date and time of the violation, shall be liable for up to $100 for each violation. That's $600 so far. After receipt of the notice, the prevailing landlord or tenant may recover costs of the suit or arbitration under this section and may also recover reasonable attorney fees. And just for clarification, I have told every single community director, manager, whatever, facilitator of things going on in management here, this part. Okay? This is where they fail. They post the things on the door. That's all they do. They post it on the door. It's in a conspicuous place. That part is legit. But listen,
Proper notice is defined as service of notice, proof of service per RCW 59.12.040. Any notice provided for in this chapter shall be served either 1. By delivering a copy personally to the person entitled thereto, or 2. If he or she be absent from the premises unlawfully held, by leaving there a copy with some person of suitable age and discretion, and sending a copy through the mail addressed to the person entitled thereto at his or her place of residence. Thank you. Tracey G., resident. I'm angry. I'm distraught. This is affecting my mental health. I'm having trouble driving. There's no way I can focus on getting passengers anywhere safely. There's no way I can not run over a pedestrian because they're everywhere in Portland. There's no way I can be nice to my fellow drivers while sitting at the hub at the airport. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm scared. I'm about ready to go get a hotel. This is not supposed to happen. Do you know why I wish for everybody peace, love, and joy? Because it's a rare gift for me. Blessed be, from Tracey G. Peace, love, and joy.
Hey, this is Tracey G, and I feel like all I've done is complain lately, and most of the time, I like to keep things positive. But today at the grocery outlet, I asked for help finding Stink Pretty's air freshener and antibacterial spray similar to Lysol, and lady grabbed my arm and kind of forcibly pushed me in the direction like I was dumb or something, and I started to have a panic attack because even in a sex club, people ask permission before they touch you, and she didn't ask permission before she touched me, and I felt that was inappropriate. And so when I got up to the cash register, I told the lady that I was uncomfortable and I wanted to contact the store manager. And she said, well, why? And I said, because I need to talk to the manager about a fellow coworker, and I wasn't comfortable talking to a coworker about the situation, that I wanted to privately talk to a manager. And that's when a customer spoke up, and he kind of had his cart behind me when I didn't know it was there, and it bumped me, and I went, wait, there's a cart there, I'm feeling caged in, and I voiced that, and that was apparently inappropriate because he hit me with the cart a second time. That time I felt was on purpose. And the third time he came at me with the cart, my daughter pushed it back into him, and I feel like we were ganged up upon. So I went outside, I kept trying to breathe and get out of my panic attack, and when we got into the vehicle, I called the store manager. Store manager says we have everything on video, so we're comfortable with whatever you need to do to report whatever. Well, I'm not comfortable reporting anything in Clark, sorry, I apologize, Cowlitz, to Clark County Sheriff's Department, because anytime I report a crime or criminal activity, I'm told it's not a crime, and yet the times that I've had panic attacks, they've sent 6 or 8 officers out, of which I have documents of, and I also even have the public records from Clark County Records themselves. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this anger. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to go about reporting it, because I'm treated as if nothing is ever criminal. Like when my neighbor threatened to kill me, and I was told by Clark County that it wasn't a crime and that it was between me and the landlord. So, what to do about this? Americans with Disabilities Act, I call the mental health number for a crisis, and I'm given a 1-800 something helpline, and that tells me how to get a hold of resources in my area that I already have contact with. So I don't know how they're supposed to help me, but I need an advocate from somewhere, because the YWCA doesn't seem to be helping with certain things. And I'm having issues. I'm just having issues. So this is just me, Tracy G, wishing for everybody else peace, love, and joy, because apparently I can't have it in my home or even in my local grocery outlet.
I'm seeing some more crows, and even more are coming. They are everywhere. I don't know what is in the leaves, but whatever it is, it's delicious. They're not really even scared of me. Look at them. They're just everywhere. Across the street. Look at them go. Now they saw me. There they go. There they go. Ah, I love it. Birds everywhere. What are you guys eating? What is so tasty? Can I see what you got, or are you just checking the leaves? Flip, flip. Oh, what fun. Okay, I haven't researched this yet, so for me, this is an epiphany. My love affair with these things, my love and hate affair with these things. According to the natives, tobacco is not bad for you if it's used as a tool, okay? It's used in ceremonies to celebrate. It's used for the same reason alcohol was introduced to the natives, okay? It's an addictive thing, and we can make money from it. We can barter, whatever the deal was. I don't care. History is what it is. Same today as yesterday. It's not changed. It's the same. Look at history. Learn from it. Nobody does. Anyway, my love and hate affair with these things. I did a thing in college, a presentation and speech and debate. No, not debate. Speech class. And I came to this epiphany the other day and decided again that I'm never, ever, ever going to buy cigarettes. You know how we do. Those of us that have a love-hate relationship. It's not the cigarettes I need. It's a minute away from other people to breathe. It's a way to avoid panic. And in fact, it's a speed up, which we know because, you know, I did that research study, and I'm not addicted to the tobacco. I'm addicted to breathing. So if I could change this to my yoga breathing and my training from Master Huntington, homage to you. And I know you're still around, so it's not really an homage, but anyway, I got a pack in my purse, and hopefully it'll be the last, but it might not be, so no promises. Peace, love, joy, and in the now, I understand what it means. Hi, I had to stop seeing a counselor that I really, really loved and was really good for me because his HMO was merging with a medical HMO that I can't deal with because they are who they are. And so, due to circumstances beyond my control, I felt the need to switch counselors. And so I've been shopping around, and I thought, oh, I found a Native American counselor. This will be great. I called her, and we discussed things, and I told her about my anxiety, and I needed ongoing mental health counseling because of borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, due to early childhood trauma and repetitive habitual abuse even as an adult. So, I have a few things, and I have a couple of muscle disorders that make me depressed sometimes, and I need a counselor. When I found one, and I thought, oh great, I got somebody. I can learn how to communicate with my daughter better. We'll be okay, right? Okay, so I go in today. I'm paying out of pocket because I figure, okay, if I pay, maybe I'll get a better counselor, right? No!
I go in and she starts asking me all of this money about my finances and things, and I'm like, dude, if I would have had this paperwork before, I could have had that all filled out and I wouldn't be stressing. I don't know. You didn't tell me to bring any of that in with me. How am I supposed to know I need income verification? You didn't tell me any of this stuff that I needed because I'm paying cash. I shouldn't have to do low income paperwork. Anyway, so I'm panicking about that, and I'm telling her that I'm panicking. This woman says, I can cure that. I have the cure for your panic. If this woman had the fucking cure for panic, don't you think that somebody would be making some money off of that? If this woman had the cure for panic, somebody would be making money off of that. So she tells me she has the cure and she's going to cure me. And I'm panicking because of this financial thing. And so she says this. And I said, no, you do not have the cure. If you did, nobody would ever panic ever again in the whole world. And she goes, and anyhow, so then we get done with that part, and I finally get, okay, and then we're doing the rest of the other paperwork, and she's asking me some questions, and I'm trying to give her an answer, and I go, and I'm trying to get there, and I don't even get 2 words out of my mouth, and she cuts me off with another question and going, oh, that, and I'm like, wait, I need to answer that. Can I answer that question first? This went on for about 8 questions in a row, rapid fire. And I was like, dude, I need you to let me answer questions. And then she's like, well, I need you to understand my background. I have a book. Do you want to learn more about me? And I'm like, I didn't come here and pay money to listen to you and your history. I'm here for my counseling. I'm not here to listen to your backstory. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, but I think it would help you understand me better. And I said, no, it won't. I'm here for you to help me. I'm not here to read your story. I'm not paying you by the hour to read your book about you. And I started panicking, and she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're still doing it. How are you a professional? This is my freaking field of expertise. And you're sitting there trying to tell me you know what you're doing. So I'm going to go in and get my money back. I would suggest that if you don't have any problems and you just want to go in and pretend everything's fine and do some breathing techniques, and she'll tell you she has a cure, that you go ahead and go see Cynthia Olivier. It's spelled Cynthia Oliver, but I guess it's Cynthia Olivier. Anyway, she is with 4 Directions Counseling in Vancouver, Washington, and I don't recommend her to anybody who has real serious mental illness, just for people that want to put on a show. Because I started having panic, and instead of helping me panicking, she's telling me she's going to cure me. How is breathing going to cure me? It isn't. The law of attraction says that which we think we deserve, we draw to us. Like draws like to like. I need a better counselor. I'm worth more than that. And for you to keep telling me that you got the cure and you know, and that I need to listen about your backstory when I'm paying you cash by the hour, screw you. I wasn't even in there for 20 minutes and we didn't do any counseling, and you want to keep $30 of my money? There was no counseling involved. So, for the rest of the planet, I wish for you peace, love, and joy. For anybody who wants counseling, do not go to 4 Directions. Do not go see Cynthia Olivier, Cynthia Oliver. Adieu. Peace, love, joy. Keep praying. And I'm going to find a counselor because the universe is going to open the door. Bye. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2019, and police officers are banging on the door because my daughter and I were having a heated discussion about feelings and not being heard. And not only are they banging on the door,
They're saying that they're here to make sure that we're okay. And then they're getting more and more aggressive, telling us they're here to make sure that we're okay and that we need to open the door. And the law says that we don't have to open the door. The law says we don't have to open the door, and they're still standing outside harassing.
Even after we lock the door.
Even after locking the door and not responding.
It's like they don't understand that.
Do you have a warrant? Then you need to go. Do you have a warrant? Then you need to go.
If you want to talk to us so badly, you can come back with a warrant.
Or a subpoena.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you remember me. I was the one that took care of the people.
Please go.
It doesn't matter who you are. We've asked you to leave.
Okay, why don't you just talk to me? Nobody's
Okay, we're recording this and we are asking you to leave.
This is the third time I have asked you to leave. Please leave.
This is harassment. The landlords are doing this just because they want to harass us. You see on my door.
I had to ask them to leave 3 or 4 times. Which shouldn't ever have to happen.
The landlords are calling because they don't want us here, and then the police come, and then the police knock and keep knocking and get more and more aggressive.
And then referring to a previous case just so we would
outside
know who they were.
in front of the public of everybody.
That infringes on the rights of the person that was arrested that day.
Yep, that's true.
I'm allowed to have panic attacks.
We're allowed to have panic attacks. We're allowed to live our lives. They are not allowed to keep harassing us. How many times do police and people need to be here?
They have you on video arguing, by the way.
We do argue, by the way. This is nobody's business. We're not fighting. We're arguing. We're not breaking any laws. We're not breaking any laws. We're not hurting anybody.
It's not even
We're not the ones playing music until 3 in the morning.
When I report these guys...
You need to stop coming and harassing us.
When I report these guys for having their music on at 2 or 3 in the morning, nothing happens. So, you know what? And then we have a heated discussion because...
During the day,
when it's when noise is allotted...
You guys are coming together. You guys are working as a team, so you aren't fighting anymore. Thank you.
Oh, you're just, bless your ever-loving heart. Thank you for coming to check on me, because I'm not a grown woman.
It's really not appropriate to continue to slam.
And these are the maintenance people that are constantly harassing, banging on the doors that I have recordings of, coming in illegally. And these are the people, and you guys telling us they're not breaking any laws.
It was $5.29.
Lawyer says they're breaking laws. They've had to pay fines for this. And yet you guys will come out here just because we're having a heated discussion?
You're not allowed to film up onto our balcony, dude. You work for the management. You're not allowed to film up here, dude. That's even in the contract.
Yeah, you can't. It says in our lease that you're not supposed to do that. In fact, I reported it when David did it, and he got in trouble for it. So continue to record us on our private balcony.
Okay, well then tell these guys to keep their shit down at night.
And tell them to quit fighting and kicking each other out and having crack pipes out there. And smoking their cigarettes under here. We report that all the time. Nobody comes and says shit to them.
Nobody comes and harasses
So all
them,
you do is sit here and harass us over and over and over and over and sit down there and yell at us like this, and it's getting old.
Just because we have a panic attack, you tell
This
us
is, and then you antagonize it and call the police. That is illegal. It's false reporting.
Telling us to keep it down when we have panic attacks is illegal. It's against the Americans with Disabilities Act. Legally, it's the first sentence of the Americans with Disabilities Act that you're supposed to treat us differently, and you're not. So you need to stop. You need to stop harassing. I'm not harassing. But you are.
When you come over here and you stand outside the door with your ear upside the door, Mike, and I open the door and you fall in, and I got video of it. Oh,
and when you
lawyer
has
it. Lawyer has it.
29 when I locked the door and I was buck-ass naked, naked.
Oh,
You came
it's
in after
happening.
I locked the door. After I locked the door and poked your head in.
You came in here to see my kid naked.
I locked the door.
That's why they paid me the $100, dude. Because you were illegal. What you do is illegal. Getting into the mailboxes, having a key to the mailbox is illegal. Getting into my mail is illegal. Oh, that don't matter. I called the post office investigators, and they said what you do is a federal offense. It's a felony. You're not supposed to have a copy of my mailbox key.
They have a copy of our mailbox key while we're still living here. That's not legal.
I have video of them in the mailboxes. It's a federal offense.
And the person that they were in the mailbox for was still currently.
I talked to the federal investigator. The inspector. George is the federal investigator, and you're full of crap. Everything they do is illegal.
Reporting us to the cop because we have mental health is not legal. It's not. It's against the Americans with Disabilities Act.
It's not just that. They're the one who instigate it. They're the
Majority of
ones
the
who
time.
start pounding on our door and scratching at it. That's why I have the sign up there.
It's like as soon as we're done with our panic attacks is when everybody shows up.
And then they're going to sit down there and BS and be happy as a clam because we're up here irritated about it.
Just don't knock on our door for panic attacks, okay? I'm letting you know as an American with disabilities, don't knock on my door for panic attacks.
Shouldn't people come if it's life and death?
If
Shouldn't you
someone's
be coming if
threatening
somebody's
someone's life, then maybe
hurting
send them
somebody?
out, but no one's threatening anybody's life.
Nobody's getting hurt. We're discussing feelings and not being heard. Ooh.
The biggest argument today was, you're not listening to me. Oh my God. Oh
Stop.
my God,
Just
it's such a big
stop.
argument.
That's all. Ooh.
Fucking cock.
As I'm sitting here working through emotions about my concern for my grandchildren and not wanting to lose another one due to faulty wiring or universal misconnection, miscarriage, or other extenuating circumstances. Although that is sad, I was just saying to my lizard, isn't she cute? That because they're my grandchildren and I have not met them physically yet, I have a bit of an attachment to them. So losing those babies is not as devastating as, say, losing my own, which I have experienced. So I definitely know the difference between the feelings. So I'm explaining this to my lizard over here, right? I'm just talking to her and going, okay, yow, this is how it is. Because, you know, I do believe that God is in me. And so as I say things out loud to whomever, even if it's just the ant that, you know, just bit me, I believe that it is prayer. So I'm talking to this lizard, and at the time, she's cocking her head, she's listening to me try to figure out my feelings about this. She's cocking her head, and I'm thinking of that song, why do you remind me of my therapist? And then she's like, my dog, why does my dog remind me of my therapist, the way he cocks his head, you know, and his ears, you know, perk and whatever. And so I'm sitting there looking at my lizard, and she's listening or whatever, but no, she's not really. She's hunting, and she's thinking I'm eating something, and she wants something to eat. But her movements just reminded me of somebody that was really listening actively and participating in a conversation. And so as she would nod, I would continue on. And as you can't see this from here, but if I turn this around, I actually have been crying, and it's not because
I mourn the loss of miscarriages of my daughters or extended family. It's the pain it causes my children, because I know the pain it caused me to lose my son. So, I was working through that and talking to my lizard, and she was my therapist for a minute. And I knew, and I told her as I got my phone out and the camera on, that she was going to quit cocking her head and looking at me like my therapist. And she's only, kind of done it once or twice since the camera's been on. And I seriously think my theory is that she, and like the bird, that the sound of the camera hurts them. So I think it's more of, it gives them a headache why they stop performing or why they get louder or howl when a camera is on, whether it's a digital or even a 35 millimeter. So all of you, including Miss Yao, thank you for listening, and Putty for trying to contribute and still being a turd bird. I wish for you peace, love, and joy. And now she's just itching her face because she just got done hunting and she's scratching off mealworms that have probably bit her mouth. So that's fun. But I'm still going to take it as she's cocking her head looking at me like my therapist. So peace, love, joy from me, Tracey G. Putty, apparently, from the Peanut Gallery. That's Putty Tat, named by my daughters when they were very young, because of one of them wanted to name him Tweety, and I said, if you name that bird Tweety, I will never call it Tweety, because that is so cliche. You guys need to come up with something different. And they said, well, what does Tweety say? And Tweety says, I taught Putty Tat. And the younger one said, wouldn't it be fun to name him Pussycat? Or not Pussycat. She said, wouldn't it be fun to name him Kitty Cat? And Jackie said, I like Pussycat. And I said, well, why not this phrase, Putty Tat? So his name is Putty Tat. I don't know why I told you all this, other than Tracey G runs at a tangent because she got 80 fucking D with an H in there somewhere, and I feel like the goose from Charlotte's Web. So from Tracey G, peace, love, joy, from Putty Tat, the cockatiel, and Yao, who is King of the Rock, with whom I spelled his name. She's a girl. Yao, King of the Rock from Mulan, is a boy. However, I've got to learn to go with the X at the end instead of a sexist name, which I didn't even think of. I thought I was honoring language, but in fact, I'm still disrespecting women. So it's Latinx, and it would be, I don't know, Yao is a Chinese name, so I guess it would be Yao, King of the Rock, who is a female. She self-identifies as her own sex. She just is king rather than queen. I bid for you farewell. Blessed be, peace be with you, and God is good all the time. Namaste. Peace, love, joy. That's one we can all agree on. And she just pulled in really hard and slammed her car into the curb.
Is this her?
Yeah, she's being very violent. I do not feel safe.
And just now she just ran up under the curb.
I do not feel safe.
She tried to physically
Stop
assault.
talking to him! Stop interrupting me every time I talk to the office! Oh my god! Every time I try to report you, you get in their face and you start yelling over me. You need to stop. You need to stop.
She was threatening me. She threatened to kill me out there. She just threatened to kill me. I'm calling 911. Are you recording? Because I'm calling 911.
Would you stop? I told you to stay in there. Just stay in there.
She doesn't want the medics to touch her. She doesn't want medics to touch her. She doesn't want medics to touch her. He just threw the letter on the ground. Copy 8 that I gave him of there being mental illness here. See, he's still got my door. See, look. Still got my door. He's going to end up breaking it. Cowlitz County's going to pay for my door.
Stop touching my elbow. Seriously. Let me on the ground. I have rug burn everywhere. You guys don't touch me. And if he can back away from the freaking door, please, I would appreciate it. Because I would like to be able to have evidence because you guys closed the only camera I have on you because apparently you don't wear body cam. I don't feel safe. I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. I will be calm as long as I can have my camera on me. Seriously, I will cooperate. Because the witness totally holds up in this thing. You guys just said this and everybody else to the hospital. I am calming down. Stop trying to calm me down. Let's make it
So
work.
basically, we had her in cuffs and she had a seizure. So that's why we called you guys. They said that she has pseudo seizures.
Callie, out. Callie,
They
no.
don't cause any brain.
Oh, no.
They don't cause any
Jesus,
brain.
Callie.
Do you mind if we take your blood pressure? Check your pulse?
You have a portable ultrasound on you by any chance?
We don't have that.
Then yeah, you can do that stuff, but I'm gonna end up going to the hospital and I'm gonna need all your guys' names because I'm reporting you guys.
You want to go up to the hospital and get checked out?
I will go on my own. I do not want to go in an ambulance. I do not feel safe with them.
I can drive.
One of the people that was one of the people that raped me happened to work in an EMT, and I did have to ride in his ambulance once, so I don't trust any of you guys. Any of you.
So,
You can do the
Yeah,
blood
are you
pressure and all that.
are you gonna let them do
I
the
will
blood
go to the
pressure?
hospital. I just said that 3 times.
yeah, well,
It's
you
like
keep
I'm
going
not
all over the
listening.
place. We can't follow you. Daryl.
If you guys would just shut up and let her talk, she would calm the fuck down. Fucking A, just shut up and let her be, and she will do what she needs to do. God damn it. You're exacerbating the issue because you don't know what the fuck you're doing about mental health.
She's right.
You act before you talk. You don't fucking listen. My dad was a cop for 27 years, and he said they're supposed to be peacemakers, not fucking law enforcers. You guys are misogynist assholes. Get the fuck out of my hallway and leave my kid alone.
One of the best police officers that was ever in Cowlitz County.
Tell me when somebody threatens to kill me that there's no crime, but when someone has a fucking panic attack, you send a fucking army and block me in my fucking
and your bulletproof gun, blah, blah, blah. Fucking flash fucking lights you use as nightsticks.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
You guys can fuck off.
So, dude, if this gets out of control again, call back. But, dude,
I'll try to intervene more.
You go get your
Try to
dog.
keep the
You go get your
situation
dog.
under
You go get your dog.
yeah.
Hi, mamas. This is Daryl after the police were here. This is your shoulder. This is your right shoulder. Look at it, how deep the bruise is all the way around.
And then it goes up into my face
And all
too,
the way up.
because he smashed my face into the ground.
Yeah, and there it is. And we'll get more later because it'll develop as goes on.
And then down here,
And then on her
rug burn on my feet,
on her feet. And then there was a spot on
on
your,
both my knees.
yeah, well, I don't have that. We're gonna have to get that later. There was a spot on your back where he was that I saw out there. I'm not seeing it now, but we'll get more as things develop.
I need to check on my baby.
Yep, you do.
I think it's Wagner. Anyway, Wagner, I put my hand up and said, "You can't come in here." And as soon as I put my hand up, he grabbed me, threw me on the ground, put his knee in my back, and proceeded to tell me that I was being aggressive and that I assaulted him. I did not fucking lay hands on you.
There was no hands laid on any officer. If there was an assault on an officer, you'd be in jail right now.
To my fans, if there was a true assault on an officer, they would not have let me go. I did not lay hands on your officer.
They take their costumes off. They ain't nothing but little men with little dicks.
To all my followers, I was just assaulted by the Clark County Police Department,
Yeah.
Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, there you go. Sheriff deputies and one
Officer
sergeant.
Weed and Officer Wagner were the ones at my door. Officer Weed let Officer Wagner put his knee in my back and proceeded to tell me they don't have body cams, which should be illegal.
And then the sergeant told me they were recording with their body cams. So who's telling the truth and who's lying,
Oh,
Mr.
really?
Internal Affairs Officer? Oh yeah, the sergeant told me I'm recording you with my body cam. You don't need to record me.
Literally 2 seconds before that, Weed said that they didn't have fucking body cams.
So are you supposed to go? Well, are you supposed to go to the hospital now?
Oh, I'm gonna go to the hospital.
And when we did that, I grabbed it and she was trying to slam the door on us. So that's why she's sitting there in handcuffs.
Yeah, you threw her on the ground. I saw your knee in her side and her back, and you were hurting her. And you're blocking my way to go in and out. You can't do that to me.
Excuse it, but I can't explain it.
I told you you can film, but you need to do it back there.
Yeah, that's fine. And here's another notice for you guys. That's number what? Oh, there we go. Another notice about mental health here. That's number how many I've given to you.
I'm trying to talk to the officer.
Oh, look, he doesn't care. Trying to tell him about our mental illnesses, and look, he doesn't care. And this is notice number 9, 8.
Are we good with the screaming?
Let me go!
Once you let her go.
Daryl,
I can't calm down without these off!
Daryl,
I can't!
they can't.
It's okay, baby. We can't let you in until we're done panicking. She needs to be with her dog.
I can calm her down.
She needs to be with her dog. She's gonna have a seizure. Damn it!
He has pseudo.
My daughter having a seizure, and they still have her in handcuffs. They still have her in handcuffs, and she's seizing. Damn it! God damn it! She needs her dog. She needs her dog.
Okay, but we have to figure out what's going on here first.
She's having a panic attack. She has mental health issues.
Okay.
And she's having a pseudo-seizure from anxiety. And we did not invite you in here. You are not welcome. You are not welcome in my house. No, men are not welcome to block me in my house. There's a reason. This is number 8 notice I've handed to you guys. I have been attacked by men, and here you guys come in and block my door. Please get away from me. Please get away. Back up, please. No, this is my home. I'm filming whatever the fuck I don't care. Please back up. Please back away from my door.
I don't know what this even says. What does this say?
This says he's not letting me film my daughter blocking my own door.
And saying you hit me with the cord. Okay.
You with the cord tonight?
I didn't hit anybody with anything.
That's why we came here.
I didn't hit anybody with anything.
What happened? Somebody heard that.
I was vacuuming and I flipped the cord up. I have no clue what you're talking about.
So the reason we're here.
Oh my God.
Okay, the reason
You need to
control
go.
yourself.
You need to go.
You really do.
You need to go. I have mental health issues. You're not helping. You're not helping. You're exacerbating the issue. Because you're a man blocking my door if I want to go and film my door. Oh, they told me I couldn't. They were blocking my fucking door, telling me I couldn't go out of here. Thank you.
That's illegal. That's entrapment. You can't.
Now they've closed me in. They've got me locked in my own house. They won't let me out of my house. This is Cowlitz County deputies at their, or fucking Clark County deputies at their finest. I say Cowlitz because my dad worked there for 27 years. This is unlawful imprisonment. Don't lock my door.
What's your name?
Still locking my door. I'm allowed to videotape in my own house. You cannot do this to me. I'm allowed to videotape my taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, so he grabs me and throws me on the floor. That's appropriate.
So is this how you're going to deal with it every time you have to come up?
Is he gonna grab me and throw me on the floor before I get to say fucking boo?
You know that, right? Hey, I need you to stay in here.
I'm staying in here. I need you to let go of my door because it's unlawful imprisonment. I am claustrophobic and I can't be locked in. Unlawful imprisonment. This is fucking going back. Oh, fuck this. IA, that's who.
I have a pseudo-seizure. I have the legal right to tell you I don't have to go to the hospital.
What I might do, I might involuntarily hold you in the hospital and get a mental like that. I can do that legally.
That way that low smoking never leaves your digestive tract.
So, I'm so excited. I have 2 more. Oh, yeah, hi, it's Tracey G. Like you didn't know, you came to my channel, right? Okay, so the deal is, so I'm so really excited about having grandbabies, 2 more grandbabies around the same time. I'm kind of excited about having, both of my girls having babies. you know, it'll be fun having them the same age. But you know what really just hit me when I was watching the mail truck come by is I'll get to watch Blue's Clues again, because I have like this media Tourette's, and I've called myself a media whore forever, or a media monger since as far back as I can think. And I'm a media whore, and so I have what I've deemed media Tourette's, and yeah, you get one thing and then another. So I saw the mail truck, and I automatically thought, oh, you know, here's the mail, it never fails. Okay, right, it's mail time, it's mail time, it's mail time. And I thought, not only am I having 2 more grandbabies, but as my grandbabies, well, I call them baby grands because they are, they're grand to me. And, oh, geez, ants are disgustingly everywhere. Ugh, so frustrating in my mailbox. I have reported these boogers. Boy. Anyway, so the ants in the mailbox are lovely. So yeah, sorry. So I get excited, the mail's coming, and I think, oh my gosh, I get to watch Blue's Clues again. Which means I'll probably have to pay for it, because the only place it's available now is Amazon. Because of the whole contract with Nickelodeon and the Hulu and the Netflix and all of that. And Amazon was showing it free. I don't think it is anymore. I may actually have to purchase it because, yeah, whatever. But I will, because I'll tell you what, Steve Burns was the bomb, even though he gave it up because of personal choices. He was the bomb, and Joe was alright, but, you know, my kids needed consistency because of certain disorders they grew up experiencing from me, and maybe they had of themselves. That's their story. So Steve was pretty awesome and a constant in at least my youngest one's life, and so change was hard. So anyway, so yeah, I was pretty excited just now that it hit me, because I got that whole Blue's Clues, the mailbox theme, and then all of a sudden I got the whole excited because I get to watch Blue's Clues again, and I know it all, so I can, you know, teach them the songs when we're not watching it. So I'm thrilled. I love being able to teach babies. So peace, love, joy, excitement for new life and new beginnings. This is Tracey G. Blessed be. I am so grateful that I have kept video record and written documentation of almost everything to do with the behavior of the neighbors. I'm sorry that I've had to go through so much with the landlords and the other neighbors in order to keep such diligent records again. But I'm so glad I have, because with them doing this restraining order thing and me applying for special accommodations, it shows how long I have been dealing with this stuff from Park Lane, and that I haven't gone to the courthouse because of my own anxieties and fears, that I've just been keeping record of everything. So I'm going to have to thank them in court for the catalyst to get the ball rolling on me reporting everything. I hate it, but this is where I'm at. Whew. I'm still recovering a bit from surgery, so all of this, oh whoops, I almost showed a areola. It's illegal with the nipple, but the areola is still legal federally. Anyhow, I'm still recovering. See, look how nicely that bruise is in the scar is healing. It started itching finally, which means it's healing, which is a beautiful thing. Excuse me. It was a ventral hernia caused by, from when I was extremely obese. It was a ball, like a fat cyst, but because I hyperventilate when I have panic attacks, it was constantly pushing and pushing and pounding on the ventral wall, which is the muscle that protects the lower part. It's the upper abdomen, the upper abdominal muscles. It's these right here. You know what I mean. I don't need to show you, but the upper abdominal muscles. Anyway, it's those that protect the rib, the lower rib cage, and the lower part of the lungs and the stomach. Anyhow, constantly pounding because the diaphragm moving up and down, up and down, up and down. So it kind of its way through. When I was poisoned and had that semi-stroke thing, and was constantly having to compensate from this side being paralyzed to using this side, and then the Kundalini yoga, because I had to learn to coordinate both sides together again. So I'm recovering from that, and was having to go to court with these people, plus the fact that I am non-confrontational. I react to other people coming to me. I don't even interact with people outside of my home. I respond to people, like the automatic response when people say good morning and good morning. Well, I'm trying to retrain myself not to smile every time, because I'm not happy every time, and I don't want to pretend to be anymore, which I had to be from the time I was small, doing pageants and things like that. So I'm trying to unlearn what I know to be true. And it's one of the hardest things ever, because everything in my life is an unlearning right now. The racism from my family is a constant thing. I have to constantly remind myself that I'm part Native American. I'm more Native American than I am white. And that's a hard one, because then my whole family on my mother's side, aside from my mother, is welcome to America and now speak English. That kind of white people who are actually Native, I don't understand. It's like being freaking Hitler and killing off Jews when he was half Jewish. My whole life is a bunch of hypocrites. I might as well just move into a soapbox. Live in a soapbox. That way, if I feel high on the horse, I can just stand upon it. And if I feel like caging myself in, I can just climb inside. Be like a turtle carrying my home around. People laugh like I'm kidding. My truth is funny to other people. My suffering. My tagline I learned from my abusive husband is, "You laugh like I'm kidding." But he'd say it with that sociopathic look. "You laugh like you think I'm kidding." Or "You laugh like you know I'm kidding." And I've learned to do it. I have borderline personality disorder. I can do it quite well. I can lie quite well. I can cut off my emotions quite well. But I don't like getting to that point, because when I get to that point, it eats at my soul. I've learned how to be authentic, and I'm learning how to be more and more authentic every day. So any kind of lying, anything that goes against my soul now, crushes me. I used to pray for the eyes of Christ, and I warn everybody, don't do that, because you'll get them. If you're really open and receptive, you'll get them. The thing about me, though, is I've always had them. I never had to pray for them. I've always been told I feel too much, I laugh too hard, I sing too loud. Imagine if I haven't tried to curb myself, exactly how out of control I would be and histrionic and need to be in an asylum. Part of me is grateful it was whipped out of me, but part of me is horrible at it, because I always had to raise my kids, do as I say, not as I do, because I was trained and ingrained, and it was beaten into me, and it's hard for me to unlearn it. Not an excuse to keep doing it, but still a reason. So I rambled off on this rant because I'm having PTSD, going in and out of reliving all of the stuff with the neighbors and the violence with their dog coming into my apartment and snapping at my daughter's dog. And the confrontations from this woman who shoulder bumps me in the hallway, and when I called the police and say she threatened to kick my ass, they tell me no crime has been committed and to take it up with my landlords. Well, I have a mental illness, so taking it up with people is hard. And the mental illness is exacerbated by being poisoned. See, I used to be a very strong, independent woman. Ask people that knew me before 2015. Ask almost anybody that actually knew me. I was strong and independent. Whether they liked me or not, I was still strong and independent and very self-assured. I knew who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know how to be a good parent. I was always looking to better myself. But I was very sure of who I was. My self-esteem has always been high because I know I'm worthwhile. The rest of the world just doesn't see me, and that's frustrating. My daughter, my dear old Emily, is teaching me to voice who I am without fear. Well, that kind of scares me, because voicing who I am without fear, there's risks and fallout. Tact is never something I've learned, but I have learned how to shut up, smile, and look pretty. And I don't like that side of me. So I don't know why I needed to rant, but I had to vent somewhere, and I guess this was a good place, and I couldn't sit down in the studio, because when I sat in the studio, all I kept doing was thinking about this restraining order bullshit, because I gotta get everything in chronological order. And you know, before 2015, ask my professors, I was a research hound. I would research stuff to the point that my OCD would get me that I would throw away an entire quarter's worth of work and redo it in a week because I wasn't satisfied with any of it. And I'd even change the entire thesis. And I'd still manage to get a 4.0 or better. Now I can barely remember things, and I get my dates flip-flopped, and when I want to say Clark County because I lived in Cowlitz County for so long, I keep saying Cowlitz County. You want to know something? Never once in my history of living in San Luis Obispo County as a teenager did I ever once call that Cowlitz County. Never got them flipped and confused. Okay? Lived in Santa Barbara County when my kids were small and we were homeless. Never got it confused. Lived in San Luis Obispo County around the same time period. Never got them flipped or confused, and they were right next door to each other. However, I keep getting Clark and Cowlitz confused. I don't know if it's because they start with a C, if they're so close together, or if because Clark is so close to my home county of Cowlitz. But something is going on with that. So I needed a break from what I was doing for court on Friday. And I'm hurting from my surgery. And I needed to vent, apparently, about personal stuff. So I don't know if I should put this in Park Lane Pathos, if I should put this in the noisy neighbors crap, or if I should just put this in my freaking video vlog on YouTube. All I know is I needed a minute to breathe, and it's been 10 minutes, and I need to upload this because I need the memory in order to keep track of things for court. Blessed be, since I'm not finding it right now, please pray for me strength and a little bit of pressure to get this done, because my panic keeps propulsing me elsewhere, and my ADD keeps distracting me, and my hyperactivity part keeps me up and moving, which probably isn't good for healing since I'm not supposed to be doing strenuous activities. It's exacerbating. Peace, love, joy. Pray for me strength, and I will send you love. Blessed be.
That man just attacked me. That man just verbally attacked me and threatened me. And he has a pit bull, and it's against our policy to have pit bulls. And his son rolls up on me and threatens me too. I'm gonna show the office the video because I have every legal right to record. hands on me. I didn't beg nobody. Your son is rolling up on me, threatening me with your dog. I am not an idiot. You're the dumbass following me. This is harassment. You're harassing me. You're following me, coming up on me when I'm walking my dog. I'm being followed. I'm being followed. I do not feel safe. I'm being followed. He charged me when I had my dog. It's the same.
Hey, you cannot be screaming like that in here. You cannot be screaming like that.
I don't feel safe. He's following me with a pit bull.
Okay, well, you don't need to be screaming like that.
I'm not safe. He needs to not come in here. I'm not safe. Him. That's a pit bull. We're not supposed to have pit bulls. He told me, ask the office who I am and not to mess with me. It's not illegal to film off my balcony. His son threatened me. I have it on video. I will show you. Telling us to let him in so he could beat me up. And yeah, now you're listening to him over me? Really? I was here first. Oh my God. I got it on film, talking to the aggressor first. He's following me with a pit bull. All I was doing was walking my dog. I didn't have my phone on me this time. It's not safe. That's a pit bull and he's charging me, and every time they walk past my balcony with that dog, it growls at my dog and its heckles go up. It's aggressive as shit towards other dogs. And he's threatening me, telling me that I am gonna regret filming his son and that I'm an idiot. And I have it on video, his son threatening me and my mom trying to come up into our apartment, telling us to let him in. His son came up on me, and then as I was walking my dog today, he comes up on me, starts yelling at me. I love that you talked to the aggressive one first. That's great.
Stop screaming. You're screaming in the office.
I'm not. I'm panicking.
Talking to you when you're screaming like that.
I'm not screaming. I have a panic attack. You need to know the difference. You can't tell me to settle down. I'm having a mental health problem. I need to breathe, yes, but I need to not be told to calm or settle down. That's not according to the Americans with Disabilities Act. I was just verbally assaulted by this man, and I didn't have my camera on me. I'm never leaving my apartment again without my phone. But his son has rolled up on my apartment with his aggressive dog, and yeah, that dog's aggressive towards other dogs, not towards people, but towards other dogs. And it barks and it has its heckles up, and Clark County seems to give a damn about people with the Americans with Disabilities Act, including the law enforcement. I do have issues because I have video of being assaulted.
I feel like I've been pretty decent.
It's not you. It's I was assaulted 3 weeks ago without any. No one announced me who they knocked on my door and didn't announce who they were. I have 2 neighbors that are allowed to knock on my door, so I do have issues. But I appreciate you guys coming and talking to me. And I have my camera on because I know y'all don't have body cams, so. It doesn't matter. I just need it for my safety. Yeah, anywhere in these, because I can't go anywhere.
Around me. You're welcome to go back to your apartment.
I feel safe around him.
Okay, saying all this right now, don't do nothing.
I'm having a panic attack. Things are gonna go through. Okay. No, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to have a panic attack.
You are. Is there anything else that I can help you guys with? I'm trying to deal with the now and move on.
I don't know. I showed you evidence that I'm not the one that was harassing, but it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, I can write a thing, but it's still in trouble for harassing.
He is calmly
I know, babe. Can you stop? I'm trying to go back to the apartment. I'm having a hard time.
Let's go back.
I've walked this way 3 times, and I can't walk without you right now because he's going to assault me again. No, I have an issue with the law enforcement. It doesn't matter. I am allowed to say words. I'm allowed to have feelings. And did anybody even talk to the person that called? So, Mom. After we just got through talking about how I'm the reason for fallout, I cause all this drama, and I just got done defending myself about not being the one that causes shit. I didn't do anything. Every time. I'm never allowed to. Christine said that I was the one harassing him. Told Jacob that I was harassing.
No, she said you were harassing management.
I was harassing management because I came in with a panic attack, hyperventilating. I'm harassing management because I wanna be heard. And
the police tell us there's no crime.
and I said
I'm ready to listen to you.
she talked to him first again. Talked to the person that's harassing me. And then refused to talk to me, only told me that I needed to call the police.
Yeah.
And refused to watch my videos.
Yeah. Because the police say there's no crime.
And then apparently, according to Jacob, I'm being the harasser. As soon as I left the office, that's what they told him. Babe, whether or not they just say for the office, they mean all around. That's what Christine means, is I'm the problem. Because I have mental health and she doesn't know how to deal with it.
What exactly did she say?
Her exact words were she came in here and started harassing management.
I did not. I have it on video.
Okay.
I was having a panic attack and she told me I needed to calm down multiple times. I said, that's against the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's not legal for you to do that to me. I have that on video.